Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Charlotte, where Kristen and I go over market trends, neighborhood tours, and city tours. In this video, we're going to go over Concord, North Carolina, which is actually located just northeast of Charlotte. It's a really nice area. It's got some nice houses and tons of stuff to do. And you're not that far from the city, maybe about 20 or 30 minutes or less than that. You got the beach to the one side, you got the mountains to the other side. So make sure you stick around and watch the whole video so you can see all the market trends, housing costs, and things to do in Concord, North Carolina. Make sure if you enjoyed this video, you give it a like and a subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our other content. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, and if you've seen these videos before, you know that I like to start off by looking at the housing market statistics for the area. But before we jump into that, if you have any questions or want to reach out to us, all the information is on the left side of the screen there. You can see contact me with the phone number, email, our website, however you feel comfortable reaching out. You have multiple ways to do that, so don't hesitate. We're here to help you guys make your move to Charlotte, or if you're here, relocate to a different city or house. Alright, so the first number we're going to look at here is median sales price for the Concord area, and that's $363,520, down 9% year over year. And you can see this trend here for a while was kind of just going sideways, but ever since about 2021, the housing market has exploded upward. And now we're kind of stabilizing right around this point, right around $350,000. You see that it went above it for a little bit here, around $400,000, came back down to $350,000, and has been going up and down. The next time we get some numbers here, I believe this is going to be closer to around $350,000, and that's where we're going to kind of stabilize for at least the Concord area. Now, of course, different houses are going to be more expensive or less expensive, but the average median cost should stay right around here, and this might even dip a little bit below that because we are going into the fall and winter season. So we could see dips as low as 325, 330 for a little while. And our next stat we're going to look at is number of houses sold. So that was 120, and that is down 22.1% year over year. And you can see once again during the boom when it started in 2021, we had that huge growth, like almost 30% if you look at that, and we kind of been on a little bit of a downtrend with spikes here and there. The unfortunate thing right now is that people have what's called rate lock. So a couple years back, you do remember the interest rates were about 3-4%. Some people even got in the low to mid twos. So if you're having a 2.5 or 3% interest rate right now, and you're looking at the Fed, what it is right now today at about 7.35%, I believe, at the time of this recording, you're going to go up significantly. You're going to go up double or even more than double than you're paying right now. And that's why a lot of homes just are not going for sale on the market right now, because they have a lot of equity that they've built over the years, the couple of years that it's been since they bought in 2020, 2021, and there's no really reason for them to move. And even if they had to move, they're going to do everything they can to stay in that house longer just because of the interest rate, and you will be paying $500, $1,000 or more dollars a month just for going up in your interest rate from like 3 to 7%. So a lot of people just aren't really putting their houses up for sale right now. A lot of the houses that we do see on the market that are selling or coming on the market are new builds. The next stat we're going to look at is median days on market, and this goes hand in hand with the number of houses sold as well, because people just really aren't moving, people aren't looking to buy houses. So you can see it's up year over year. During the beginning of the boom, they were down here, it was like 24 days on the market, 20 days on the market, and then recently within this last year, the end of last year and this year, it actually spiked up to the highest point it's been in a while at 76 days, which is really high. Then the spring and summer season comes and people are moving and shaking, so it drops back down. Right now it's at 33. It's probably going to stay right around there for a little bit. It might slide over, but my anticipation here is now that we're going back into the fall winter season, it's going to spike back up. I don't know exactly if it's going to get as high as it did before at 76, but I do anticipate it to be in the 40s or 50s just because not as many people are buying. And then the builders typically slow down in the winter too if we have some bad weather. It is hurricane season, and then if we get into the winter and we actually get some snow in the area or some bad inclement weather, they might not be able to build as quickly as they do in the spring and summer. The next stat we're going to look at is sale to list price. price. For a while there, when the boom first started, people were getting 101, 102, 103%. I think that was the highest for this particular area, was around 103, 103.5%. But so whatever they were listing their house at, most people were getting well over asking. Some people weren't even going to see the houses. They were just looking at a picture online or seeing that it met their requirements of, like, we need 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a nice size yard or a nice kitchen, and they would just put an offer in sight unseen and hope for the best. Now we're getting back a little bit more to reality, where houses are sitting longer. You can actually go see them without so much competition. So you can see the sale to list price right now is just about 100%. They're finally meeting in that happy medium right in the middle there. But you can see it was really high here. We dipped down to our lowest point at 97.4% in January, and then we kind of been steadily going up. So the sellers are finally finding out where the market is settling, and the buyers are still kind of waiting them out. They're getting more deals than I think now. So I think the buyers are actually kind of winning more than the sellers. There's a lot more variety on the market. There's new construction on the market. So we're going to see that number stay right around 100%, I think, for a little while, because the market is finally stabilized and they know where to meet on the price. All right, and the next stat actually kind of goes hand in hand with that as well. So homes sold above list price, 41.7%, down 5.7 year over year. And you can see on this graph again, actually zoom in for you guys a little bit just so you can see, once again, 2021 up high. They were just selling way above list price. Then it came really crashing down quite a bit. So you can see that it drops quite a bit here. Our lowest point was January in 23. It did spike back up just because of the spring and summer season. And now we're going to stabilize probably right around here, and we might be dropping again. It depends on if sellers price it accordingly, but I do believe we're going to stay right around this line here, right around the 40, and stabilize right there. And the last stat we're going to go over quickly here is homes with price drops. You can see for a while there, when the boom was happening, not much was being dropped in the market. And then once we kind of got back to some normalcy and the sellers were still pricing it too high, but the buyers knew they could get it lower, that's when it started adjusting, and it kind of dropped here and then went back up. I think we're going to stabilize here right around this 30%. But yeah, nothing too crazy, because like I said before, with the numbers being sale to list price being so close, they won't have to drop it so severely, and some people still can get over asking price. And next we move on to migration. I find this stat really interesting just because I like to see where people are coming from in relation to joining us in Charlotte here. So if you can see, this first column here is people are moving to Concord from. And they're always the same, typically from the same areas, because we're right in the same Charlotte area, but it's really fun to look at. So we got New York, Washington, Los Angeles, Chicago, which is actually having a little bit of a rebound real estate wise. They're actually stabilizing in the market, and their numbers are actually growing again. And then we got Boston, San Francisco. This is kind of a fun one that I thought, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And then we round out with Greensboro, Philly, and Seattle. We actually helped a couple not too long ago move from Seattle, and they're actually really enjoying it over here in Charlotte. And you also want to think, why are people moving from these places to Charlotte? Well, one big thing is cost of living. Almost everything on this column here on the left side, the cost of living is astronomical, and it's only gone up since 2020. It has gone up here in Charlotte too, quite a bit, and because I've lived here for the last 5 years and I've seen the parabolic growth that has happened here. And it's easy to see that if you can save so much money and relocate to a place with possibly better weather, you're near the beaches, you're near the mountains, and you can also have a good job growth. This is like the #1 place for companies to come in and start, or just to relocate. So there's so many benefits about living in Charlotte, North Carolina. And just quickly, we're going to look at where people moving to when they leave, like the Concord area, and it's usually one of these two. It's either Myrtle Beach, because people do love the beach, and that's actually a more affordable area right now than Charlotte is Myrtle Beach. So if you're interested in Myrtle Beach, you can reach out to us. We do service that area as well. And then Asheville, North Carolina is more like in the mountains, so you get that fall feeling where you see the changing leaves, you get that nice nip in the air, and so it's really nice up that way too. All right, now we're going to look at some recent sales around the Concord area. And this first house sold here, it was on the market for 32 days. Sale to list price actually was over 6%. So they listed it at $410,000, and it went for $435,000. Typically, when you see a house on the market for over 30 days, you might not see it at competition, but maybe at one point All it takes is two buyers to look at a house that they want, and then they're in competition, and it boosted the price up. This one here was listed for $449, went for $449. This one here was listed at $515, actually went below list price. It was on the market for 110 days, so those people got a little bit more of a deal. It might have been priced a little bit high. Scrolling over a little bit more, you can see that this one here went for list price, 92 days. This one actually still, after 195 days, went for asking price. So you could wait it out. You don't have to lower the price. It just might take a little bit longer, but they did get to sell their house. This one here actually went on 35 days, list price $215, went for $185. And then just to finish out this list here, this one actually went under 4%. It was 74 days, and this one was 38 days and got exactly what they wanted. Actually, it was slightly over. The list price was $514, and they got $517 for it. So you can see the prices in this area vary. $500,000 houses, $600,000. There was a couple that were right around $200,000 to $300,000. So if you have any questions about a house that you like in the area, or you want to see a house, go ahead and reach out to us. We'd be happy to show it to you. Next up, we don't really go over schools too much. However, the Charlotte area, and specifically Concord, they do have good public schools. There's charter schools, private schools. Reach out to us and we can actually send you a list of places that you might enjoy and help you out. And lastly, we just talk about weather a little bit. If you move to Charlotte, North Carolina, you know what you're going to get. Basically, 7-8 months out of the year, it's pretty warm. In the summer, especially July and August, it's going to be very hot out. You're going to spend a lot of time in your house with the AC running. The electric bill will be going up quite a bit during those 2 months, just because it is pretty much standard high 80s, mid 90s throughout all of July and all of August. The good thing about that is that most communities have pools, or if you have enough money, you can put in a pool and actually enjoy the hot steaminess of these couple months of summer. In the fall, it doesn't get too cold up until about late November into December. Then it starts getting a little bit colder, where you're going to need to maybe put on some layers, maybe a hat, gloves, nothing super crazy. Temperatures in the 50s or so. And then January, February is when you have the greatest chance of snow. This last calendar year, we did not receive any snow. That was the first time we've been here in 5 years that we actually didn't get a trace of snow. It was a pretty mild winter, even for Charlotte expectations, but that's what you can expect. Now, during the hurricane season, which is now, we do get mostly the storms that come up from the Gulf of Mexico. They hit like the Florida, Louisiana, New Orleans area, run up the coast, and we get like rain, thunderstorms, and it can be pretty bad, but nothing crazy. Though we've had 2 storms actually hit directly off our coast when we first moved here, but ever since then, we have not had those. It's pretty rare for them to come and hit the North Carolina area. It doesn't happen too often, so you don't really need to be worried about that. And we're more inland, so you will get the rain, you'll get the severe thunderstorms, but nothing super crazy. And to finish out this video, if you do decide to move to Concord, North Carolina, and you find your perfect house there, what can you do there? Well, of course, it's right next to Charlotte, and you have so much to do there. They have the Charlotte Knights, the Charlotte Panthers, we have a hockey team. There's so much to do. The nightlife in Uptown is fantastic, and we can help you out with all that and give you great stuff to do. But just looking at this list here, the Charlotte Motor Speedway is one of our biggest attractions here. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan, but it is fun to know that you can go to races there. During the holidays, they have a big area so you can drive through it in your car, and it's just all Christmas themed. They have tons of lights, tons of stuff going on there. We do that every year. It's so fun. Another one that me and my family enjoy a lot is the Great Wolf Lodge Water Park. It is a huge water park indoors, and they have some stuff outdoors, but they have gigantic water slides, and it's just so much fun for the whole family. We usually book a weekend or 2 there a year just to go and hang out, and it's fun for all ages, not just the kids. I have a blast there too. Me and my wife can send them off to some slides, and we can just sit by the wave pool and enjoy ourselves there, and it is just such a nice, relaxing family time. Alright, and that wraps up our tour of Concord, North Carolina. Again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We do these videos quite often. We also go over market information for you guys, and we do all things Charlotte. If you're thinking about relocating to Charlotte or just moving to a new location in the Charlotte area, reach out. Our information has been on the screen for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask us. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.